Hope everyone is doing good today. Rainy day here this morning. It's actually been raining here since yesterday. It's weird because in the Philippines, I've been looking at Pag-asa, that's the weather people here in the Philippines, and a lot of areas in the Philippines are hitting like danger heat index. And here in our province, man, since the beginning of May, it's rained here pretty much every night. And then during the day, it warms up. But like today, it's like a cloudy, rainy morning here. HD, all right, HD. Thank you for coming online, being our moderator again, my brother. Really appreciate your helping us on our channel. You know, I'm not technically wise when it comes to YouTube, man. You're a lifesaver, man. And speaking of like the heat index, like I mentioned, even yesterday I was, now I'm like curious all the time now with Pag-asa. That's kind of like the travel. That's kind of like the weather channel here in the Philippines. I like keeping up on their website, looking on my phone, see the weather here in the Philippines. And again, there was several areas yesterday that hit the danger heat index. Let me see here. It was 45 degrees Celsius on these areas, 113 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, that is hot, especially here in the Philippines with the humidity here, I've seen the heat in the desert. I lived in Arizona for 7 years, but dry heat in Arizona. Here, it's like muggy and humid, easy to sweat when you're here. Oh, Danny, all right. Ray, hello, Danny. Oh, Ellen, LD, how was I had to bring my umbrella. Alan, I was chatting with Alan earlier. I was telling him, I got to get my brewed coffee before the live stream. And I had to bring my umbrella because it was like raining. Not hard, not pouring rain or anything, but definitely umbrella weather. All right. Oh, Danine. All right. Neen's on her way. So this is Dan. All right, Dan. That's funny. Neen is on her way. My friends in California. Hey, Tim. All right, Tim. My good friend in Las Vegas. Tim and I were always like chatting on Messenger. Tim, he likes to work out at Planet Fitness, and then he'll put some of our videos on. And then one time he said, "Man, I'm gonna talk to Gino instead of like watching the video. Why am I watching the video when I can talk to Gino?" And sure enough, Tim contacted me while he was working out at Planet Fitness. Tim and I have become good friends because Tim had spent so much time here in Panay Island before. Now he's in Las Vegas with his Filipina wife, but we never met because he didn't know about our channel, which is too bad because I know if Tim was here, we would have become good friends while here. But we're friends now, so I know Tim's gonna be here one day, and I'm finally gonna meet him and his wife also. His wife's dad actually lives in our town here in Numancia, which is kind of cool. I haven't met him yet, so I'll have to be on the lookout for her dad because he drives a tricycle. So I have to when I'm on Bumblebee, maybe I'll keep looking around for people. I'm gonna keep looking around for the wife's dad. Neen, good morning, Gina. We're here. All right, now Neen and them, both of them are now on the live stream. Thank you so much for coming online. Everybody's still sleeping, and I doubt it if they're gonna wake up this morning because rainy weather. It's been raining last night, all throughout the night. Raining this morning, cloudy. Good sleeping weather. So I'm sure Dazel and Leanna, they won't be waking up anytime soon. But Mom came down. She was here earlier. She was having bread and coffee, so she's awake. Wouldn't be surprised if she went back to bed though, because like I said, it's good sleeping weather right now. Well, there go HD. Go. Both Dan and Nina. All right, all right. Hey, Joel. All right. No heat in Flagstaff. Wow. What month? So it must be like spring, like spring weather. Not yet summer in Arizona. I'm trying to like remember the weather in Arizona. It's good weather actually. May I remember in Arizona because those were my cycling days when I used to ride a road bike a lot in Arizona. Those were the good months to road bike during springtime because not cold anymore from winter. Spring is like perfect, and then not too hot during like summertime. Gets too hot in Arizona to ride your bicycle, but spring is perfect. All right, Joel and Eileen, glad you guys could make it on the live stream. 84 in Central California. Oh, not bad. That's a good California weather there, Danny. 84. I was just going to mention some of the temperatures. Like I said, some of the areas had reached the heat index, danger heat index. And some of the areas were Bacnotan, La Union, Coron, Palawan. I know many people have been to Palawan. They're in the danger heat index above like 110 degrees Fahrenheit. QB Point in Subic Bay, Olongapo City. QB Point was very memorable to me every time I see QB Point because during the Pinatubo evacuation, when the volcano erupted, I was stationed at Clark Air Base at that time. And when they evacuated me out of Clark, they put me in a barracks at QB Point. They put me in a Marine barracks. You know, that was my first experience on those. They're weird looking barracks because they were kind of round shaped. I forgot what they call them, but I've never been in a barracks like that. And it was all like cots, like side by side. And that's where they evacuated me. Because at the time when I was at Clark, I was single. So the single guys, when we evacuated, we got to QB Point and Subic Bay, the naval base. They actually put us to work, of course, because we're single, we're military. So they put us different jobs, like before the volcano erupted. And then even after the volcano erupted, they made us work, cleaning up the Navy base and Subic before I finally flew out of Subic. Hello, Pat Waters Blog. Hello, I came from all right. Welcome to our channel. James and Karen, we met them yesterday. James had messaged me and he goes, invited me to lunch. So I brought Dazel. Dazel and I went. We went to like the Fields View Cafe, really nice cafe along the highway, rice fields, of course. This is Aklan province mostly. And great couple. I've watched their videos before. Actually, when they started their channel, I was like commenting and following them. Then, we just never connected, because people stay busy too, But now we're connected. Now I know we're gonna be good friends. Great conversation yesterday. We have so much in common. I can tell. They're gonna be good friends of ours because they're both down to earth people, humble people. That's kind of my people. I enjoy people that are humble and kind, and that's what I see. From James and Karen. So I'm sure we're gonna be good friends with them. We're actually planning on attending their wedding. They invited us to their wedding, so we're gonna be at James and Karen's wedding in Balete, Aklan. We saw lots of elect by just cooking on the sidewalk. Give it a try. Cooking on the sidewalk. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about street food and stuff like that, that's always here, Daniel. Daniel, Sergeant USA. That's my friend Daniel in Jacksonville, Florida. And those election signs, man, they're still all over. It's gonna take a while till they remove all the election signs because they're everywhere. I mean, it's got Calibo, Numancia, anywhere you go on the road, it's like all these election signs. And then elections are over. Congratulations to all the winners of the elections. It's like time to you know, sometimes you see division among people during elections, but here in the Philippines, people move on from that quick, and then people start getting along again. You know, usually election bring that because, you know, it gets heated sometimes here during elections because people, you know, support their candidates, you know, get passionate about supporting their candidates. But like I said, people here move on. You know, once somebody wins, okay, that person's in. You know, it's like time to move on. Time to move on. Jumpy, sorry I'm late. Had to work overtime. No worries, Jumpy. I'm glad you made it, brother. Overtime, man. You know, I haven't heard that word in a long time, Jumpy. But I understand. Hey, man. You know, it's like you got, you know, you got to earn in the U.S., man. I remember living in the U.S. Even during my military years in the U.S. When I was living in the U.S., I always had a part-time job in the military because most military people will tell you this, especially when I was in the lower ranks, when I was an airman, even up to like staff sergeant. I made staff sergeant. We don't make a lot of money in the military, you know, so a lot of us have part-time jobs, you know, in the military. You would work like your normal day job, you know, it's like sometimes 7 to 7, and then try to find a job at night, you know, part-time work at night. And I've done everything from bagging groceries, stocking shelves of groceries, delivering Domino's pizza, being a waiter. I was a waiter at Papa Do's, you know, it's New Orleans style restaurant. So I've done it all, you know, being, you know, even though I was in the military, because, you know, my military comrades know about, you know, the low pay in the military. Maybe now they're higher pay, you know, because we've gotten, you know, military have gotten raises in over the years, but I was in the military. Most of my time in the military was in the 1980s and 1990s, and we weren't getting paid good in the military. But you know, I'm happy. You know, it's like they gave me a pension. They gave me a military pension, and that's allowed me to retire here in the Philippines early. I mean, I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. You know, can't say nothing good enough about the military. How it's provided me a good life here in the Philippines. Ray, all right. I'm present and aim high, my brother. Aim high, hey, brother. You know, I have to represent the airports, you know. My friend Kip always gives me a hard time about wearing an Air Force shirt. He goes, he's Navy, of course, and Kip tells me, I got to get you a Navy shirt. And I told Kip, if he buys me a Navy shirt, Navy hat, I'll wear it. You know, it's like, I'm proud of the military. You know, all our brothers in the military, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, you know, Army, doesn't matter. You know, it's like we are all brothers in arms. Hello, 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 sing, hello. Earl, hey, all right, Earl, my good buddy in Georgia. Good morning here, but good evening, Earl. I'm glad you made it on the live stream, my friend. Gino, did you and Dazel and Mount vote? Dazel and I didn't vote this time, but we're gonna make a point that we're gonna get registered for the next election because my barangay ID, unfortunately, is expired, so I have to get a new barangay ID. Dazel, she never had a barangay ID here in Numancia. It's several steps here to get a voter's ID. It's a long process, actually. Get your barangay ID, then go to the commission election here to get registered, and then you're supposed to get an ID with them. But we're gonna make an effort this time because I start understanding more about the politics here. Not that I get involved with politics, but since I've been living here now for a few years, I'm learning as far as like how the Calibo and Numancia, the mayors, the vice mayors, and then the SB members, it's like Sangguniang, Bayan, I'm starting to understand. So I figure, hey, might as well vote because I know people now, it's like our neighbor here, one of our neighbor here in Camellia Glen, he's now the vice mayor of Calibo, it's like he got elected. I was like, oh man, he was a counselor before and now he ran for vice mayor of Calibo, so now he's the vice mayor. 90 here today, not 90, all right, in Georgia. That's not bad. That's not bad, right, Earl? Not too bad. 90 is now over here in the Philippines. I can tolerate 90. It's when it gets to the hundreds, it's harder to tolerate. But speaking of the weather, it's like I went to the Pag-asa website. I was looking at information, and I guess the way Pag-asa, the weather people here in the Philippines, the way they declare the start of the rainy season is depending on the amount of rain that the Philippines is getting. So it's not like a set date. I thought before it was a set date, like a certain day of the year. Oh, it's rainy season. It doesn't work like that, I guess. It works. They measure like the amount of rain, the different areas in the Philippines, and they have a certain guide that they follow. And also the wind. The wind plays into part because the what's that? Southwest monsoon. They call it habagat, the habagat winds. I guess it starts kicking in like middle of May right now, middle of May, and then a half of June. So middle of May or half of June, our weather people here will declare the start of rainy season. It sure feels like we have rainy season now here in Aklan because it's been a mild summer for us. Maybe during March and April we had more sunshine, but this whole month of May seems like for me it feels like we're already in the rainy season because like we're getting a lot of rain. Even yesterday when we drove to Balete, I actually had to message. I had babe, message James because I think we might be late because on the way to Balete, it's only like a 30-minute drive to Balete. But when we passed Lezo, the traffic was super slow because it was a downpour. There was even like small flood and a small water in the road. So I was taking it slow, I was taking my time. So I was like telling Dazel, maybe they messaged James, we might be late. But when we got there to the cafe, I saw them just pulling in on their motorbike. So we got there about the same time, because I'm military, man, so I hate being late for anything. I'm always on time. I'm always like early. My supervisors back in the military used to tell me, if you're 15 minutes early to a meeting, you're already late. They want you there. Like, they never want you to, you never show up on the meeting. Like, if it's an 8 o'clock meeting, you don't show up on the meeting at 8 because everybody's already sitting down. Everybody's ready to go. And if you open the door to a meeting, you got there like at 8, everybody's going to be staring at you like you're late, so. Tim C hit hey, thank you, Tim C hit the like, wow, congrats thank you, yes, we hit the 7,000 subscriber. I really appreciate everyone for supporting us. That's why I always said, it's like, thank you everyone for the continued support. I never thought we'll hit 7,000 ever, and then the channel keeps growing. People keep telling me keep up the good work, so it's like, and we will, it's like for me, I think I'll always do YouTube because it's fun for me. It's not like I don't feel like it's work, it's never feel like work. I think if it starts feeling like work, if YouTube starts feeling work, I think that's probably time to let go of it. But it's fun for us. I like the friends that we meet. It seems like I'm gaining more friends, even though it's online friends that I haven't met in person, but I get a connection from people, and it's fun for me. HD, in Arizona, Phoenix, and southern parts, you can crack open an egg. I remember, man. I lived in Tucson, Arizona for 7 years, and like I said, I was a cyclist during that time. I used to ride my road bike in Arizona, and I used to mountain bike out in the desert. So I know the heat. I know the heat in Arizona. It is hot. I mean, but like I said, it's a dry heat, I remember in Arizona, as long as you find parking for your car underneath a shade, and as long as you're inside a building like a mall or I work at the hospital, so I'm never outside. I'm always in air conditioned. And your home in Arizona, it's always like, you turn the thermostat, you set the thermostat. So the only time you really feel that heat is like from walking from your car to your house, the house and the car, that short distance, if you're out in the sun. And then if, like me, when I was cycling, I never felt it when I was cycling because I guess the wind when you're riding on and I always like wear like long sleeves, the cycling jersey. So I never felt it when I was road cycling. I guess because I was having fun too when I was road cycling. Rider Written. Hey guys, hello, hello, Rider Written. Oh, there you go. Thank you, old-fashioned oatmeal. I was trying to remember the name. The Quonset huts. That's what they call it. I stayed there, man. I was like, when we evacuated out of Clark, I got to QB Point, and then when I got to QB Point, like I said, I was single. You know, you're an airman. You know, so you're the ones working. They put us to work. It wasn't like, because people were evacuating. There was families. There was like people have their pets. They were putting people like in the gymnasium. I remember. So they needed people to pass out food, pick up trash, empty garbage. I mean, because if you can imagine, Clark Air Base at the time, I remember there was at least between Clark Air Base and then the other bases in the Philippines. Because Clark Air Base in Subic Bay, there weren't Subic Naval Base. They weren't the only bases here. There was like a base I remember in Tacapa Starlock, San Miguel Communication, Wallace Air Station. There were several bases in the Philippines at the time, and everybody evacuated to Subic Bay because it's farther away from the volcano, they said at the time. So they needed people to it was like Subic base at that time was like packed. It was just super packed. Even just people guiding people to where they would park their car, because everybody from Clark drove, and they had stuff in their car, so it was just, they put us to work. And I remember that was the place I lived, was the Quonset huts at QB Point. And they would, somebody would come in every day and tell us, hey, we need guys to help here. And of course, we're eager to help because that was evacuation. And then when the volcano erupted, damage on the base, there's ash everywhere. So we had to help dig out the base, so that's what we do. That's what military guys do. You step up to the plate whenever an emergency or anything like that happens. Joel, all right. Marine. Yeah, there you go. Joel knows. Man, see, my military guy. I knew what it was, but I just didn't know the name. I don't remember the name. But Marine Quonset hut. Yep. I lived in a Marine Quonset hut. So I could say, hey, I stayed at a Marine Quonset hut barracks. I got the chance to live in one. Mr. Sam said hi. Hey, Mr. Sam. Hello, hello. Pat, what? Oh, Jack. I mean, there's a lot of people from Jacksonville, Florida. That's great because my good friend Rick, hey, Totoy, I think wants to go out. Totoy wants to go out to pee, I think. Here we go, Totoy. My good friend Rick, he's a retired Air Force. Also, I met him here. He went here to Calibo. Me and him hanged out at the Cafe Latte. Good conversation. He's also from Jacksonville, Florida. And I think he will be back here with his wife in January for Ati-Atihan. I think I'm going to go sad with my good friend Rick from Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome, Pat. All right, welcome, Pat Waters Blog. HLO, all right. Gino, we had political signs all over our fence in both Calibo and Argao. I was mad they did not ask. Oh yeah, I'm sure they don't ask. They just start putting stuff. I know that. I know, Alan. I know. They just hung them up. My father-in-law took them down and threw them. All right. I can't blame you. That's the thing. They just start. I remember when the election started, they just start popping up everywhere. It's like, at least here in our community, you just can't put it up. I know some neighbors put it up in front of their house, that they did that. And then there wasn't, here in Camellia Clanstons, we're a gated community. We never get solicitors here. We never get people selling us stuff, They always have to ask permission. Like the fresh seafood vendors, the ones that they're on a motorbike. They got that styrofoam cooler in the back of the motorbike. They usually park right outside the gate guard. And there's a certain time, like if you go out there at 7, they're gonna be out there. So if the residents here want fresh fish, shrimp, crab, whatever, you go to the gate. But they're never allowed to like go in the community here, start, the normal, like outside the community, you see these guys in a motorbike and they're yelling like fish, or they're yelling like crab, they're selling whatever they're selling, they're like yelling out loud. We don't get that. That's why one thing I like. But during the election, that's why I was surprised. There was one candidate in their group. It wasn't just one candidate, but there's like a dozen members. They're all wearing like their campaign shirt. They knocked on my door, and we have a gate, a little gate. They came here and I opened my door because Toto was like barking. I was like, what's going on? I was upstairs and I came down, and sure enough, they're out there. They're out there on outside, and they had pamphlets for me. They handed me pamphlets, voting stuff. So I took it, but that actually surprised me because I think that's the first time that ever happened during an election where there was somebody campaigning inside their community here. Usually it's outside. It's outside the community. They're not allowed to even come here. If you've been here during an election, what's common is like they could be on a tricycle, they can be in a jeepney, and they got these loud bullhorns or loud speakers with like music, campaign songs, just going down the street, and it's just like loud. But they don't allow that here. But if you're in Calibo or you're in Numancia, man, that's kind of like, that's the norm. You see a lot of that going on. Mr. Sam, hello from Las Vegas, hoping to retire next year in Luzon. All right, Luzon. Plenty of choices in Luzon. And I know many, I would say probably more people retire in Luzon than here in Visayas, and of course than in Mindanao. Because Luzon, you're closer to Manila, the VA, the Veterans Administration Clinic, and the embassies there. And then Manila, as the big... Totoy wants to go in. Come in. More people retire in Luzon area, and I'm from Luzon originally. I was born and raised in Manila. I left when I was 12, but I just fell in love with Visayas. I just think, and I think people that's been here to Visayas, it's just a different vibe. I think Visayan people are more mellow, it's just the province. The Visayan people are just more province. Luzon, because their proximity from Manila, is just more urban. More people, big SUVs, things like that. More traffic, more hectic. Here in Visayas, people here are just more laid back. A lot of fishermen, a lot of farmers, a lot of, this is what I remember the Philippines growing up. When I was growing up, I grew up in the 70s here in the Philippines. So my summer vacation were spent in Bulacan province in Luzon with my cousins. They had a rice field. That was their farm. Basically, I spent my summers in the farm. And that's what I feel here when I'm in Panay Island. When I'm in Panay Island, our province, Aklan province, Antique province, Capiz province, and Iloilo province, the same. I get that vibe that it's provincial, rural. It's like, but we have a city. There's in Panay Island, you got Rojas City in Capiz, and then Iloilo City. Iloilo City is like one of the booming cities here in the Philippines. I know it's the best city in the Philippines, in my opinion anyway. Iloilo City is like the best. Don't have the traffic of Cebu City, doesn't have the traffic of Manila. People are super friendly. I've helped many people move to Ilo City. My friend Frederick, now my friend Ivan and his wife and 2 kids. They got like 2 little kids. They just moved to Iloilo City. They're gonna make Iloilo City their home. So, and I'm happy for them because I know they will have a great life in Iloilo City. Sergeant USA LOL. I was referring to cooking your food. Oh, all right. Cooking. I was trying to figure out what you were trying to refer there, Daniel. My bad, my brother. I have not seen. I know it's an expression, but I haven't seen that yet. I don't think it gets that hot. It's a different heat. It's more. I guess they consider the heat index because of the humidity and the actual the heat from the sun. And when I was in Arizona, I know it's just a plain heat from the sun because there's no humidity. Here, you get like 100% humidity and then 100-degree temperature. You're gonna be sweating. I don't care if you're outside, you're gonna be sweating. Even inside the house, you'll be sweating if you don't have air condition. Hey, the HD deleted some message. Thank you, HD. HD is always protecting our live stream. Appreciate it, HD. OB, all right, Olson and Aaliyah and Isaiah in Columbia, South Carolina. My friends there in South Carolina. Good morning, good morning. On hot days, drop an egg on the road or saba and we'll cook. I don't know. I won't try. Man, eggs is 10 pesos each, brother. I don't want to waste an egg. Edgar, all right, Edgar. Hey, what's up, man? Bring me some fried gator. You mentioned Papado. All right. Hey, man, I remember, man. I was a waiter at Papado's in San Antonio, Texas, man. HD Apex. We vets should also discuss about having a trade fair where we can trade our military souvenirs. I have a bunch of command hats and different commands. Oh yeah, man. Me, man. Man. If you look around the house, I don't have any memorabilia because for me, HD. When I left the United States, when I retired here in the Philippines in 2011. I was like, I packed one suitcase and one backpack, man. And everything I owned, pretty much I sold or gave away. All my military coins, hats, patches, plaques, all the souvenirs we got through our career. Every time we moved from base to base, people give us like, I just wasn't gonna lug that around. I know, it's like people, get attached to that, but me, man, I was dead set on moving here to the Philippines and having a fresh start. And I know how the military, I know you can relate with this, HD. When we go from base to base, when they pack our house or pack our goods, I mean, we got boxes and boxes of stuff that we move from one base to another. And a lot of times we don't even get to open those boxes, till the next piece, till the next move again. And I just didn't want that. I didn't want that kind of lifestyle anymore. I knew when I'm retired here in the Philippines, I wanted to pare down my stuff, and I didn't want to accumulate anything anymore. And I still haven't. It's like I can still pretty much pack all my stuff in one suitcase and one backpack. I don't buy things, most of the clothes I wear, Dazel gets at ukay at the thrift store. So it's not like I don't have suits anymore. I don't have a military uniform. I know people save their military uniform for events. I don't have none of that. It's just like I guess I've adapted a more minimalist lifestyle. That's why when you mention a lot of like the high-tech gear, get this, for internet, I just don't buy that stuff, man, because I know that's how you accumulate things. You start, if you buy a drone, you buy a Starlink, you just accumulate stuff. For me, I'm like a more minimalist now. I like not having a lot of stuff. Not a lot of stuff that would break even. Team C, take a deep breath, bend at the knees, and hit. All right, man. It's all good, Tim. Thank you for that, man. I gotta keep hydrating. I always got this Vita Coco. I gotta hydrate because now the sun is coming out. Earlier it was cloudy and rainy. Now it's coming out. So now I can actually feel like the humidity. Like I'll start sweating now since earlier it was nice and cool still. Now, once the sun comes up here, it's going to be a warm, hot day here in Numancia, Aklan. Habagat, south wind. All right, Habagat. Yeah, that's it, man. It changes here, your Habagat season. The monsoon. Habagat, we normally get more rain once Habagat comes. Thanks, Tinsi. I get so busy sending hearts. I forget. All right, then. All right, Deneen. If you're on time, you're wrong. That's what my Cresty used to say. You're wrong. I'm sure we had all that, like I said, Olsen, we all had that, old supervisor or crusty supervisor that, always gave us a hard time in the military. And we remember those guys. I remember. Even now, I've been retired since 2004 from the military. There's people that you remember. Hi, everyone on the line. Hey, John C. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hey, thanks, Matt. Brian, my friend in Galveston County, Texas. Hey, Brian. Hope you're doing well, my brother. Mary, all right, Mary. I'm glad you made it. Mary. Jumpy, I really enjoy the positive attitude in this group. I think having a group of level-headed retirement helps keep things sane. I'm retired LE myself and feel like yeah, good. I think so. I have to agree, Jumpy. That's why we're all, good people. I mean, HD takes care of like some of the nonsense, sometimes the trolls. You always get that. You always get people, that's part of YouTube. But more are people that, that's why I like doing the live stream. We got good people. On our live stream. Hello, Gino. Greetings from New England, Northeast, USA. All right. I will, man. I'll stay strong, man. Thank you very much. I have a few people up there in New England. Robbie now, he was from Rhode Island. Now he moved to Boal in Cebu. And my best friend, one of my good friends from the military, Leo, he lives in like the Boston area. And then I think my other friend lives in also in New England. A lot of Patriots fans. I remember they're heavy duty on the Patriots fans. My friend Bob, and Natalie, and his wife Natalie. I think they live in that area too. 2D Hood Farms. Hey, all right, Shane. Shane was sharing the stories. He raises chicks, like chickens from egg, so he was sharing that story with me. Because we're friends on WhatsApp, so we're always messaging each other on WhatsApp. So I guess these were like, Shane, correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, they're like Easter eggs, and they hatch, and now they're like little chicks, so that's pretty cool, man. I like that. I like that, your stories about that. Did you get to spend any leave time at Camp John Hay? I sure did. I think we all did. I think that was part of being when you were stationed at Clark Air Base. It was all Camp John Hay at the time. And actually, I took Dazel there twice now. I've taken Dazel there. The last time was 3 years ago. I took Dazel to Camp John Hay. Of course, it's not the same like during the military days. During the military days, it was really nice. You can get a cabin there with a fireplace. Not many places in the Philippines has fireplaces, and Camp John Hay, because it's up in Baguio, up in the mountains. And the golf course, of course, was really popular. But now, when I took Dazzle there, we were there 3 years ago. It's still nice. I actually filmed, I have a couple of Baguio videos of Camp John Hay. And it's still, there's like the garden area, the botanical garden area is still nice, but it's turned more commercial. There's more, and then less pine trees now. less pine trees period now in Baguio City, unfortunately, because they put up a SM mall, buildings, hotels, unlike back in the 90s or late 80s. It's really a lot of pine trees. But it is what it is. It's progress, I guess. It's like with anything else. It's like you know us old heads always look back to the good old days. You keep saying, man, I remember when Baguio was like this. So I remember when Clark was like this, or Boracay. But that's what happens when we get old. I think it's like we start looking back. Oh man, I remember when it was so nice there. Now it's all buildings now. Retired Army from Jacksonville, Florida, and soon. All right, Daniel. I know you're counting down your days. I know you're about a year away, Daniel. So I know you're counting down, my brother. Getting ready for the Indy race this weekend. Good. All right, Shane. I'll have to. Why? I'm Dazzle and we've been watching NASCAR. We're getting into I used to like NASCAR when I was in the U.S. 14 years ago, but now we're starting to get into it. We're watching it on the laptop, like replay and stuff. But Dazzle likes it too because she likes all the bumping, all the action, and then she likes how all the drivers get mad at each other. It really competitive, really competitive. NASCAR is really competitive. We'll probably check out the Indy race too. We were watching something on Netflix about this Indy race car driver. I forgot his name, but he was only like 18 years old. I was like, man, 18 years old and driving an Indy car, car already, man. All right, Peanut Butter Traveler. Yes, Fort Light. Oh, the Fort Light. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Jumpy, fresh seafood on the way back from 7-Eleven sounds like a good morning. It sure is. Usually, it's Dazzle that knows. I don't want to get. Dazzle always tell me, you don't know how to pick the right fish, babe. And I'm like, okay. It's like, so usually I have to wait for Dazzle to get fish because she's really particular about her fish that she gets. It's like. When I look at fish, like even at the public market, Jumpy, they look the same to me. But Dazzle like really scrutinizes the fish. She'll pick it up. She'll put it back. She's really really picky about her fish. To me, it's like fish is fish, and they all look the same to me. But I don't want to make the mistake of getting the wrong fish. So I usually wait. For Dazzle to pick out our seafood. Yeah, Las Vegas. All right, Tim. I got a lot of people in Las Vegas. I got a lot of friends now that in Las Vegas. And then my cousin, my Kuya Beng, he lives in Las Vegas too. And I'm sure like Tim and I, we were talking about this, like so many Filipinos live in Las Vegas. Seafood City is a big grocery that have Filipino food and everything in Las Vegas. John C., if I want to move to the Philippines and I want to learn the language, do you have a recommendation of what to learn? All right, if you're gonna learn a language, I would recommend Tagalog. I'm a native Tagalog because my province in the Philippines is Bulacan province in Luzon. Bulacan is kind of like the home of the Tagalog language. I mean, Bulacan used to be like the center of the Philippines at one time, the government of the Philippines at one time. Bulacan, Malolos Bulacan is popular. But I would learn Tagalog because the thing with Tagalog, it doesn't matter where you go in the Philippines. Here in Visayas, Mindanao, or Luzon, anywhere you go, people will speak Tagalog because that is what's shown on television. Like when the Filipinos watch Filipino TV, it's in Tagalog. You're never going to see a TV show where they speak Cebuano or Ilonggo or Aklanon. Everything is in Tagalog in TV. So pretty much the whole country understands Tagalog or can speak Tagalog. So if you're gonna learn one dialect or one language in the Philippines, I would recommend Tagalog. That way, once you learn Tagalog, you're good. Anywhere you go in the, like me, I can go anywhere in the Philippines. Like when I got here to Aklan, I don't speak the Aklanan dialect, or when I go to Iloilo, I don't speak Ilonggo. But if I speak Tagalog, if I start speaking Tagalog, they understand me. It's like everybody understands me. So, is there a ferry from your area to near Clark? All right, all right. Good question, Daniel. I like that question. For us, the ferry, if we want to go to Luzon, like from our area here, we're in Panay Island. This is Western Visayas. Dazel actually took this ferry with our car. We put it's called the roll on, roll off. You roll on with your car and then you roll off with your car. You just like climb on the big ship, park your car, go to your room or bunk bed or whatever. And then when it's time to unload, you get back on your car. We took it from Katiklan, Aklan, and it landed in Batangas. Batangas is it's part of Luzon, so that ferry ride, we went on the to go ferry, and I have a video of that if ever you want it, Daniel, because I filmed it. I filmed that trip, and it was kind of cool because it's fun because we're on the ferry, Daniel, and I was filming, and I can hear rooster. I kind of freaked out. I'm like, I'm in a ship and I hear roosters. I thought I was hearing things, but. Once you land in Batangas, the Katiklan to Batangas trip on the ferry was 12 hours. You leave here in Katiklan at midnight, and then you get into Batangas noontime. Actually, a good time to leave because, I remember when I got on the ferry, it was midnight. Of course, you fell asleep like at 1, and then when I woke up in the morning, it was time for coffee and breakfast. I went on the deck. They had a nice deck with a view of the ocean and everything. I recommend that ferry if you're gonna, but I recommend that to-go ferry because there are other ferries, older looking ships. The to-go ferry looks nicer and it's almost like a hotel because Dazel and I, on the way there, we've got our own cabin. The cabin had a queen size bed. We had our own bathroom. And I think it cost us about 5,000 pesos a night, so it was about, not too bad. I mean, about $85, but your own cabin with a shower. I took a shower in the morning, but really recommend that if you take a ferry, take that to-go ferry. Really comfortable. They had like a restaurant. They have the upstairs even had like live music. Somebody playing live music. You can order beer. It felt like you're in a cruise. Like the cheaper version of cruise, the Filipino cruise. Feels like. HD, learn Tagalog. That is the national language. Every Filipino citizen. Yeah. See, thank you, HD. Thank you for seconding my recommendation. John C, thanks, HD. All right, Danny, haha. The Philippine sidewalk eggs will be steamed instead of fried. So that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. I know that comment gets mentioned like in Arizona in the desert or Death Valley in California where it's like super hot. But like you're right, I don't think you can fry an egg in the Philippines. I think it'll get steamed because of the humidity, man. That's funny. I'm glad you said that, Danine. Provincial life is great. That is why my wife and I choose Aklan. Plus because my wife is from Boracay, so we enjoy watching. Oh, thank you, Alan. And me and Alan earlier we were messaging each other. He shared with me like a sunrise in Manila because he's in Manila right now. Can't wait to meet you, brother. Can't wait to meet you. I know we'll have a good time like when I finally meet you in person. Mayor Bert, hello Kuya, hello. Oh, Mr. Sam, thank you. All right, thank you for the super chat. Definitely, I'm gonna use that money to get coffee. You know me, man. I love my French vanilla brewed coffee at 7-Eleven. Thank you very much. I'll be back. HD, the term. All right, I'll be back. Arnold and the Schwarzenegger. All right. Good thing I'm not a musician, or else I'll be back. That's Glenn. Oh, Glenn, my neighbor here in Camellia. Good morning, all. I agree with Alan. Aklan Numancia is the place for us. We have everything we need here, and especially we have a choice of at least 100 beach resorts. Yeah, I mean, there's, we're from our community here. The closest beach, we have Nabitas Beach. It's I measured it. I actually rode my bicycle there one time when I was still riding a bike. It's not even 3 miles. It's just that's why we're so close to the beach. And then there's just the whole coastline from Calibo, Numancia, Makato, Tangalan, Nabas, Ibahay, then Malay. It's just all coastline. Most of Aklan province is coastline. So I mean, you can hit all the resorts here. There's so many beach resorts here. We accumulated lots of stuff here in the USA. It becomes a burden to sell. That's the thing, That's a, and how do I say that? I did that. I did that when I was in the U.S. too, Mayor Burt. I used to have a garage in the United States, and I could just barely fit my car in the garage, and I had like, unfortunately, typical American. When I was living there, I had a mountain bike, and I had two road bikes. I just had so much stuff in the garage, And then, it's just we accumulate stuff in the US. And for me, when I was moving here to the Philippines, I knew I was going to be living on my military pension alone. I had to budget. I knew then since I was going to retire early, I was 45 when I moved here. I knew I couldn't live that American lifestyle anymore. I couldn't own a Mustang anymore. I can't have all the gadgets, the flat screen TVs, all this expensive stuff, because I'm gonna be living on a budget, and I was fine with that because I wanted to change my life. I didn't want to be materialistic anymore. I wanted to be more minimalist, and I've maintained that. I'm proud to say that I've maintained that even now that I've been here now 14 years. Our house is 430 square foot. And I can like from where I'm sitting, I can touch my refrigerator almost. Our couch is like, we have a tiny, like it's not even a sofa. It's one of those little love seat, kind of like a love seat. We don't have a lot of stuff, we have a one burner electric stove, that's what we do. I mean, we don't have a propane tank. We don't have a big oven, everything more minimalist, more, I don't have a garage full of stuff. Like when you walk outside, we don't have a storage of stuff that we store stuff. It's like we just don't accumulate. Even Dazel, I tell Dazel, it's important that we don't accumulate stuff. We're always like, before we buy anything, we're like, do we really need that, or where are we gonna put that? Because we don't have spaces like a minimum for us, so we have to like be very careful about buying something, because it's gonna clutter the house, if we do. We're looking forward to downsizing and selling off all the knickknacks. So, yeah, it is. I mean, Dan and Nina, it's like, for me, it's made my life easier, I think, without all the stuff, because now that we don't have not a lot of things break, not a lot of things that I have to replace, it's an easier life, I think. But understand it's not for everybody. A lot of people like a lot of their stuff, a lot of the gadgets, and I'm not mad, at those people. It's like I know I have friends that like gadgets. Guys got electronics. Guys like all the new stuff. But for me, it's just I try to like live more simple, more minimalist now. Ellen, I agree, Gino. You can't take it with you. So why waste your money on lots of stuff? Use the money and travel. Yeah. That's the thing. You're like me. like, oh, I was gonna mention that. That's what we're gonna be doing. So next week, I probably won't have a live stream next week, next Friday. For the first time in a while, we've been doing live stream every Friday pretty much for the last few months because we're gonna be traveling. We're gonna be my best friend from Hawaii. He's gonna be visiting me here. So Dazel, Leanna, and I, my best friend, we're all gonna travel. We're gonna start out, of course, here in Calibo, and then we're gonna spend a couple of days in Boracay, and then we're gonna go to Antique Province. So I'm gonna try to film as much in Antique Province because I haven't done a lot of videos of Antique Province, and then we'll end up in Iloilo City. I'll try to film there too, and then meet up with my people there, my people in Iloilo City, Frederick, Vincent, and now Ivan and his family. Finally gonna meet Ivan from Canada. This was gonna be our first meeting in Iloilo City, and my friend Sharon and Manny, they're back. I saw them. They were in the U.S. Now they're back in Iloilo City. So next Friday, I probably won't be able to do a live stream. I'll see on the way, like if we're in Antique, Iloilo, if there's good Wi-Fi, maybe I'll just pop up and do a quick live stream just to say, give people like what we've been doing. But it's gonna be a busy week. It's gonna be Leanna and Daz's kind of vacation too before, Leanna, she'll start high school here June 16th. So this is going to be her last kind of long vacation on this road trip. We're going to be on a road trip the next week. We're looking forward to it. It should be fun. And my best friend and I, we always, me and him have been friends for over 25 years. So it's like, it's always good for us to catch up, Me and him, we're more like brothers, We worked together when we were in Japan, and we just connected. We've always had a bond. So looking forward to seeing them again. Or just give it up. Yeah, I had to give up, Danny, I had to give away a lot of stuff. I remember I had to give away a lot of stuff. A lot of my military memorabilia, I ended up giving it away to my family, different family members in the U.S. Retired LE. All right. Law enforcement. I got my law enforcement guys here. I have a retired law enforcement too, my friend Vincent in Iloilo City. He was Sacramento area. He's a retired LE too. Mayor Bert, Kuya, are you and Dazzle on Filipino time? No, we're not on Filipino time, man. I'm always early. I'm always like I think it's because of my military, but my military background. I don't think I'll ever be on Filipino time. Now, I'm on island time, I consider Filipino time and island time different. Filipino time to me is like always being late. Everybody here is always late. But island time is that chill, kind of everything, take your time, it's like don't rush anything. To me, that's island time. OB, all right, Olsen, Ikuya, James and Karen just posted their collaborative video with you. Love it. So great that you are close. Oh yeah, I know. Like I said, I know we will be good friends with James and Karen. I just got a good vibe from them. We finally met them yesterday. And I can tell we're both the same people. We're kind, we're humble. We don't brag about stuff. We're just we try to help as many people as we can. Just trying to live a good life. It's like trying to do good and be good. That way we get a chance to get up there. It's like you don't want to be a bad person. You just want to be a good person, and that's always been my goal. Even with our channel, I just want to be helpful. I just want to be a good person. 2D Hood Farms, yeah, Easter Eggers, yeah, I remember you telling me, Shane. Will lay blue and green eggs when they get 10 weeks old. All right, man. That is cool, man. I wish they would let us do something like that. And our community is very strict, with like animals. We're allowed 2 dogs And I think you're allowed a cat, but they don't allow chickens, they don't allow ducks, they don't allow turkeys or anything like, or goat even in our community. But it is what it is. Maybe on Dazzle Land, for sure, someday in Dazzle Land, once we build a small, tiny house on Dazzle Land, because Dazzle likes all that stuff. Dazzle's, she grew up with that. Dazzle took care of goats, she took care of chickens, she took care of pigs. She was in charge of the pig pen with the big mama pig and all the piglets. Dazzle was in charge of cleaning their pig pen. So she knows that stuff. So I'm sure when we build our home someday in Dazzle Land, a few years away, once I get my Social Security, because I don't want to build anything in Dazzle Land until we have a lot of extra money, for my Social Security. Hey Cam, all right, Ruben. Hey, there's my man Ruben, and Ruben is now, he's back. Ruben's been back in Calibo. He went back to San Diego for about a month, right, Ruben? And then Ruben's back now in Calibo at his apartment. And Ruben, me and him, we always message each other, and he's just meeting people, man. Ruben's like he found Ruben likes billiards, and he found a place near his apartment, walking distance from his apartment. It's not a pool hall or not a billiard hall. Ruben was telling me it's just somebody's house, and they got like 3 billiard tables, and the guy even has like beer and soda in a refrigerator. I mean, I was like, Ruben, that's a gold mine, brother. You found yourself a nice spot there. And then Ruben was even telling me he's had at Dunkin' Donuts in Calibo, he met this Manong, the Manongs. Manong here in the Philippines is actually, Manong is an original Ilocano word, a term in Ilocano. It's usually designated for the oldest male in the family, Manong, it's kind of the firstborn usually. But over the years, and then different areas like here in Aklan province, I know they use the term Manong. I hear Manong here. A lot of times they shortcut it. They don't call it Manong. They'll go Nong. Nong. Like I hear Dazzle saying Nong. And I even start picking that. I even say Manong or Nong. But now the term Manong is used for like, like an elderly brother, older cousin, somebody you want to pay respect, a Manong. And Ruben, he met like the Manongs at Dunkin' Donuts, the Manongs that get together there. They're kind of like the wise people here, the elder people here in Calibo. And one of them just ran for Congress here in Aklan, one of the Manong. So I was like telling Ruben, you're networking here in Calibo, man. You're meeting some good people. And also Ruben's got friends over at the Pares. Pares Retiro is one of Ruben's favorite place to eat. It's a fast food place that serves beef. And he knows the ladies there at Pares. There's one person there that was training Ruben on a motorbike. I was like, man, Ruben is just gonna be a local Aklanon here, or local Kalibunhon pretty soon here. He's gonna be one of the locals here. 2D Hood Farm. Yeah, I'm a big NASCAR fan. All right, man. All right, Shane. I'm still just trying to learn all the drivers. I'm learning all the drivers, Shane. But it looks like I like Logano, because I used to own a yellow Mustang. That was my car in the US. I had a yellow Mustang. And Logano, the 22, rides a yellow Mustang. So looks like, just because of the car, I'm going to be rooting for him. Oh, my water bill is getting delivered. All right, so, just wait a second, guys. Hold on, boss. All right, salamat po. My water bill, the guy, this is like not drinking water, but this bill is like they hand it to you. Usually what they do is they fold it, they put it in a plastic, and they tie it to your gate. That way it doesn't get wet. But The guy saw me. He could see me from my gate, so he just like called me to hand me my water bill this month. And my water bill is 505 pesos. So that's about $9 for water. You know what? Shower water, like the laundry water. We don't drink. We don't drink tap water here. We have drinking water delivered. Our drinking water, it costs 20 pesos per container, per 5-gallon container. And the drinking water here, all they do with drinking water is filtered water. It's probably tap water that they filter through, make sure impurities or whatever. I've been drinking it for the whole time I'm here, 14 years, and I have never gotten sick with the water. So I guess the purified water or processed water seem to be okay. Seems to be okay. 10 months. Oh man, my bad, Daniel. I said about a year, so 10 months. You know that's even shorter. That's even shorter, man. That will go by fast, Daniel. 10 months is nothing. And Mylene, all right, Mylene. Good evening. Good morning there. Good evening there, Mylene. I'm glad you made the live stream. Thank you so much. Jumpy, Tim C. I've been out of 15 years. Got into CNC machining and will be done later this year. And all right, Jumpy. Another one of my Panay Island people come in here. All right, man. Can't wait to meet you here, man. Can't wait to introduce you to Panay Island. If you're trying to get into car racing, you should have a movie day to watch the upcoming movie F1. Oh, all right. Thank you, HD. I thought I did see something on that Brad Pitt F1. I'm sure we'll watch it. Maybe when we go to Iloilo City, watch it on IMAX. They got IMAX in Iloilo City, man. That would be cool to watch on IMAX. All right, Mylene. Hi, hello, Mylene. Thank you for coming online, Mylene. Ethan, Zip Smart, said hi. All right, Ethan. Hello. Hi, Ethan. Glenn de Lostrico. I've been researching condos in the Philippines. Do you know why condos have USA prices but Philippine sizes? All right. Most of the condos here, I know we don't have any condo here in Aklan province. The only condo I've seen here is in New Coast in Boracay Island. And the reason why they're American prices, I mean, that's Boracay Island. That's like a tourist destination. And as far as like Manila, I don't know much about the condos in Manila. I know that's where a lot of the condos are in BGC. Probably the reason why the prices are high, I would say, because BGC in Manila to me is just like being in Los Angeles or New York. You know, I mean, you got all the luxuries there. You got all the big malls, the modern infrastructure, but I know the condos like in Iloilo City, I know there might be a little cheaper than in the ones in Manila. I have friends there. I know my friend Manny and Sharon in Iloilo City. They live in a condo there. I'll ask them when I go there as far as condo prices. But I think you can't say just the entire Philippines. I think it's depending on the area. You know, if you're looking at the condos in BGC in Manila, Makati area, you're going to be paying a premium for those condos there, especially if you're desiring up on the penthouse, things like that. But cheaper condos, especially the older condos, like in Iloilo City, you can get them at decent prices. And then again, if you want a condo in Boracay Island, you're just going to have to pay. It's like that's Boracay Island. Nothing is cheap in Boracay Island. Alan, you never know where the roosters will show up. Manok na pula. I know, right, Alan? Manok na pula. That's funny. I'm glad you know about the manok na pula, man. It's like I always mention, like on my videos, I still get amazed every time. It's during sunset time, not during my walk to 7-Eleven in the morning, the boss rooster, he's always walking around there by 7-Eleven, near our entrance or our community at sunrise in the morning. But at sunset, man, the boss rooster just trips me out because he's up on the power line, on top of the power line. I'm talking, this power line is like 15 foot high. I'm trying to figure out how in the heck did that rooster gets up there, And every time it just amazes me. The boss rooster. I call him the boss rooster because it seems like every time I see him now in the morning, he's got like 4 or 5 hens like following him around. And then I see like little chicks. One of the hen has like little chicks. I said, man, he is the boss rooster. Hey, all right, my friend Ivan. Hey, I'm glad you made it. I was just mentioning you earlier, Ivan. Ivan, my friend, and his wife and 2 young kids. They're now in Iloilo City, and Ivan just told me he found a condo, right? Ivan, and I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna see him next weekend, next Sunday. We should be in Iloilo City by next Sunday, and my first priority is meet Ivan, his wife, and his kids. He sent me a picture. He just Isuzu. He got like a Isuzu SUV, So I was like, man, nice vehicle there, Ivan. So looking forward to meeting Ivan. I'll probably meet Ivan at SM City Iloilo. That seems to be a good meeting place because there's lots to do there. And then Dazel and Liena, that's where they spend all their time in Iloilo City, is at SM City Iloilo. We'll catch a movie, do things. Lots to do at SM City Iloilo. A lot of nice restaurants. For me, of course, I gotta hit my Burger King. I gotta hit my Sbarro New York pizza. I just hit like all the American food that I don't get that. I don't get that here in Calibo. So anytime I'm in Iloilo, it's the American food that I even like that they have a Kenny Rogers Roasters there. I even like that. They got a good salad there. I like they have what's called like Kani salad. I like their salad. And then the rotisserie chicken is pretty good at the Kenny Rogers Roasters. Mostly I eat like American food when I'm in Iloilo City, just because I don't get a lot of that American food here in Calibo. Retired hobo. Yes, I experienced Mount Pinatubo. I was assigned at Camp O'Donnell. There you go. I couldn't remember that base. I'm glad you mentioned Camp O'Donnell. I know that was in Tarlac. I retired in Dau, Mabalacat. Away. Oh, I know that area. I know that. I still go to Angeles City. Actually, that's where I got diagnosed. Unfortunately, that's where I went to Medical City Clark in February, Valentine's Day 2023. That's where I got diagnosed with cancer. And but I know Angeles City, Clark area. My friend lives at Mabalacat. I think he lives at Mabalacat. One of the gates. She lives outside. That's where Dazel and I stay when we go to Angeles City. My coworker back in the day, she worked with me at the medical record section at Clark Air Base, and she has a house at one of the gate. I'm trying to remember. I want to say it's Mabalacat gate, but we stay at her house when we visit Angeles City, and more likely we'll visit probably this. Dazel just didn't want to fly this year. If she had wanted to fly this year, we would have visited again Angeles City. But hopefully she'll want to fly come next year so we can go to Luzon, travel and visit some of our friends. So, Sergeant, great blog. I watched your ferry trip, but couldn't recall where you landed. LOL, you couldn't recall. Yeah, Batangas. Batangas is where I landed, brother. Oh, Mylene, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mylene, for the super thanks. I appreciate it. And any subject you want to have about retirement, medical. I know medical is big. People, that seems to be a question that a lot of people ask me about medical. And I always tell people, I think as long as you do your research, of course, if you have medical issues, don't go to one of the remote provinces here in the Philippines. That would be a mistake, in my opinion, if you have medical issues. But if you're in pretty decent health, you don't have a lot of medical conditions, there's different areas here in the Philippines that will fit you. You know, it's like you don't have to live in a big city. You know, it's like there's areas like if Iloilo City here, like in Panay Island, pretty much the entire Western Visayas area, Iloilo City is like the hub of the best hospitals here. Medical City Iloilo, top-notch hospital. That's where I go. TRICARE preferred. You know, it's like they do like they got cardiothoracic surgery there. They do implants of pacemakers. They do I mean, they do anything with your heart. They do it there, and they've been doing it for years. It's not like they're new. You know, they've been doing it for at least 10 years or over. So it's not like, you know, I know people always kind of, you know, hear people bash, and I get their point that they bash about the medical here in the Philippines because they go to those remote province. Like here, if you live here in Panay, like here in Aklan province, my recommendation, if you have medical issues, you want to live near Calibo, because Calibo now with the new Asia Pacific Medical Center, brand new facility, over a year facility, but you know, state-of-the-art equipment, MRI machine, you know, they got it all at Asia Pacific. You would want to live close to that if you have medical issues. You wouldn't want to live like in Burawanga, you know, like an hour and a half away. You know, just to me, a lot of it, you know, people select places that are like kind of remote, like a remote island. You know, it's like if you live like somewhere, let me think of an island, maybe Romblon. Romblon is like close to us from Boracay. You can reach Romblon maybe an hour and a half on a ferry, on a boat. But if you got medical issues, I wouldn't want to be living in Romblon, because like if you need like like heart surgery or something like that, man, you're a long way. You're a long way to get at least for people here in Calibo. You got Asia Pacific Medical Center. It's a nice facility, emergency room, modern looking emergency room. At least they can stabilize you here. And if you need some heart surgery, if you need like a surgeon, they can, rush you on an ambulance to Iloilo City, 3 hours, less than 3 hours, and you would be, you would be at Medical City Iloilo. So as long as you do research, it's like people that live in Manila, I know if even outside of Manila, like I know a lot of people live in Santa Rosa, Laguna, those areas, even in Bulacan, Manila's got some of the top hospitals in Asia, Makati Medical Center, St. Luke's Hospital. I mean, you got some top-notch hospitals here in the Philippines. So don't, I know people kind of think like the Philippines is third world country, that everybody lives in huts here or something, but man, there's good medical care here. Coming from me, man, I 27 years of my life, I work at hospitals, American hospitals, and I know there are hospitals here in the Philippines comparable to hospital where I worked at in the United States. So don't think that you're gonna get like bad medical care here. You just have to do your research. Do your research. Find a place here where you have access to good medical care. Thanks for yours. All right, HD. Thank you. Glendy, huge problem is the expat, not Pina, will pay crazy prices for their condos. I saw an expat pay. Yeah. You're right there. Because and even buying a condo, it's like take your time. It's like a lot of people I see would buy a condo, without even seeing the condo, or being overseas and buying the condo. To me, that would be crazy. To me, if you're thinking of buying a condo here, come here to the Philippines, live on an Airbnb, because usually Airbnb and condos are similar. Stay at that area in an Airbnb 1 to 2 months before even thinking of buying. Don't buy something that haven't seen in person, seen the community around it, walk around the condo, the nearby areas, get to know the place before buying anything here. I always tell people anyway, if you come to the Philippines to retire, just rent first, at least rent for a 1 year. Don't be in a rush to buy, or don't be in a rush to build, better to just rent. It keeps you out of trouble from being scammed, or with land here in the Philippines. There's always question regarding the title ownership of the land, disputes over land. So I would be careful. With that. Better to rent first, get to know the Philippines. And to me, that's my recommendation to everyone that I meet. Michael Spink, hey, thank you, Michael Spink, for the super thanks. Appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate your wisdom regarding life in the Philippines. One of these days, I'll be back. And hey, let me know, Michael. I know we messaged before. I remember your name. I know something came up that you weren't able to make it, but I know one day you'll make it here, and we'll do it. It's like Boracay is easy for me, man. I can go to Boracay on a day trip. I don't even have to stay overnight in Boracay, because if I leave here at the house at 6 a.m., I could be at Real Coffee Boracay before 8, and having real coffee, and then spend the whole day, and then just head back. So Boracay is easy for me to do, even on a day trip. I don't have to stay overnight in Boracay. Thank you, Sergeant. All right. I'm glad people are like communicating to each other. I like the vibe. Of our live stream. That's why I keep doing it. I like the positivity. We got good people in here, and HD's got a lot to do with that. Thank you, HD, for keeping everything going smooth. Glenn, I couldn't figure out why these prices didn't make sense to me. Yeah, take your time. Anytime you want to buy, condos, land, homes here, man, I would take my time. I always tell people, rent first, try the area for 1 year. You might get here, you're looking online, oh, I like Dumaguete, I like that area, I want to live in Dumaguete. And get to Dumaguete, and after 1 year, you might not like it after a year. So then if you buy anything there, you're stuck. And it's not the same here as far as selling anything. It's not like in the US, if you want to sell something, things sell pretty quick. Here, it's almost impossible to sell anything here. It's like you have to find the right buyer here. It takes time. A lot of times you'll end up taking a loss in order to sell anything here. Tanya, all right, congratulate on this. Thank you, Tanya. We'll keep it going, man. I'm always like, I'm happy we reached 7,000. It's really an accomplishment. I never thought our channel would be, will reach that level, but I'll just keep it going. It's like just trying to spread the positive vibe, try to help as many people as I can. It's like pretty much everybody that reaches out to me on my email, on WhatsApp, on Messenger, I always reply to everyone, even in the comments. If you notice, I always, I make an effort. It's like I don't ignore anyone, even the not so good ones that I get. I don't ignore. I try to be equal to everybody. I try to like hear everybody out. Mustang. Oh, I know that's my friend David in Canada. Every time I see Mustang, because like we're Mustang brothers, we both love Mustangs. Good morning, Gino. I see you must have went through Feliciano. Oh yeah, we did it. We went to Balete yesterday. That's where we were at Balete. That's where Emily's family lived. You could have stopped and said hello. If I knew, man. Yeah, you know how it is here in the Philippines, man. There's no addresses here. It's not like here in the province of Baclan. If you ever make it here in Panay Island, they just don't do addresses here. Maybe in Iloilo, they have actual street number and street address. But here in Calibo, there's no addresses here. There's not like, 123 San Juan Street. There's nothing like that. hold on. May message sa ako. Sa ano ka ba, boss? H2O. Sige, kunin mo na, boss. Kunin. My bad. It's the water guy this time. The drinking water this time. So I had to make sure that it's my guy because they're rough here with the drinking water. What I do is I leave the containers, the 5-gallon containers, but I have to make sure it's my guy. You know, I get my water from H2O water, but sometimes other companies get my containers. So I'm like, who? You know, I'm waiting. I'll text my guy at H2O. I'm like, hey, dude. How come my water's not here yet? Because usually they'll pick up the containers and they'll come back, and then not even a couple of hours they'll be back. But one time my containers are gone, and I'll text the guy. I go, "Hey, dude, where's my water? We didn't pick up your water. Some other guy picked my container." So I always have to ask, "Hey, are you my guy? Are you from H2O?" It's cutthroat. They're cutthroat here. With the drinking water. I'll talk to you more about that, David. Maybe I can get their phone number at Emily's family or something. Because we're going back to Balete. I'm sure, that's where we get our fruits and vegetables. Dazzle likes to get fruits there, especially during rambutan season and lanzones season. We're always in Balete because that's Balete here in Aklan. It's kind of like the fruit and vegetable capital. That's, man, I think it's because of the soil. They have a different soil. Their soil is like more red soil, so everything grows well there, and they're cheap. Man, we can get bananas, we can get so much stuff, and they're good price. Best price in all of Aklan is in Balete. That's why we like buying vegetables and fruits in Balete. And like I said, we're only 30 minutes away. And usually what Dazel and I do, we'll drive to Balete, get all our fruit, and eat lunch there. They always have like carinderia. And now the place where James and Karen took us, it's Fields View Cafe, a nice cafe. They got burgers and stuff. So that's added to our list of places to eat in Balete. Evril, 7,000. Good for the channel. All right, Evril. My friend in the Boston area. Man, good to see you. Good to see you, Evril. Watch it. Oh, you're in Honduras. All right, man. I know you travel. I know you travel in Honduras. But I know you're from Boston and Honduras. So good deal. Good deal, man. I'm glad. Only morning. Oh, sorry to hear that. Sorry about your mom. Prayers to your mom. I know that that's tough, man. May she rest in peace. May she rest in peace, brother. Glenn, I'm debating on using my post-night linen taking courses in the Philippines. Has anyone tried that before? Oh, man, you picked the right guy to ask this, Glenn. I used my 9/11 GI Bill here at STI College Calibo. I used it here in Calibo, like 3 miles away from our house here. I went to school here on my GI Bill 2012 to 2016, 4 years, because you get 36 months of benefits. So 9 months of benefits each year on the GI Bill. And that's where I met Dazel. We were classmates for 4 years. Then I married Dazel after graduation when we both graduated at STI College. During that time, 2012 to 2016, my housing allowance was $1,500 a month living in Calibo. That's the money you get. But now I know it's gone up. Like if you go to Calibo, the housing allowance for any school overseas is $2,000 or over now. It's jumped up, and you get that for 9 months. You get that money for 9 months. So to me, it's like for me it was a no-brainer because I was in Aklan already. I was living in Boracay, and my GI Bill was about to expire I don't know if yours has an expiration date. Mine had an expiration date, and I got a paper from the VA telling me, hey, if you don't use your benefit, you'll lose it. So I decided to go back to school. So I went to school for 4 years in Calibo. Saved a lot of money because, my housing allowance, like I said, was 1,500, and my apartment in Calibo was like $120 a month. So I saved a lot of money. You even get like a book stipend every year, $1,000 book stipend per books. And I never bought a single book, because at STI College, everything was like handouts and computer. We had a laptop, you download and stuff on the computer. So, you'll definitely save a lot of money. I mean, I would say just think about 9 months every year. Now you're going to get $2,000. That's $18,000 here in the Philippines. That's like 1,000,000 pesos here. So if you go to 4 years of school here in Calibo, you're looking at 4 million pesos that they'll pay you to go to school. I mean, to me, that's like an easy decision for me. If I have a benefit like that now, I would go again. I'll go to school again. If you see crazy prices, remember the skin tax and run away. Run, Forrest, run. Yeah, unfortunately, I hear that a lot. Of course, skin tax. I don't think it's anything racist. It's nothing racist. It's just that Filipinos, when they see a foreigner, it don't matter if you're American, Canadian, Indian. It doesn't matter if you're Korean. If you're a foreigner, Filipinos automatically assume that you're rich, that you have money. So they'll up the price. That's just the way it is. It was like that when I was in the military here. When I was stationed at Clark in 88 to 91, all the GIs, all of us, when we come out the base in Angelo City, there was a different price for us as the locals. That's why, but it's not like you can't bargain, and you learn that anyway. Like once you live, like Ruben's a perfect example. Ruben's been in Calibo now since January. And he's already telling me, when Ruben first got here to Calibo in January, he would ride the tricycle and he would always pay the guys extra. And I told him, hey, nothing wrong with that. The tricycle drivers, they're kind, it's hard work to become a tricycle driver. So Ruben would give them like 40 pesos, 50 pesos. And he was telling me, am I paying too much? I said, well, brother, you're paying too much, but if you got, but now Ruben, since he's becoming a local now, he only pays 15 pesos now. So, it's a little bit of savings, but he's learning that, he's becoming a Filipino. Ruben is becoming a Filipino, man. But, I always hear that, and I know people always say skin tax. It's like a negative, it feels like a negative connotation. And I'm glad a lot of Filipinos, the locals, they don't hear that term. It's usually the expats propagate that term, skin tax. But, Filipinos aren't racist. It's all about money here. It's all about getting the most. And they'll do that with a Filipino, with a local. It's like we see that like at the market. It's because here in the Philippines, it's bargaining is common here. Everything is negotiable here. If you go to the public market, you go to a fruit stand, everything, if they tell you, like Dazel, she'll go, tagpila nang, how much, manang, and they'll give a price, 30 pesos a kilo. Dazzle can always come back and say, 25 na lang nang. Bargaining is part of the culture here. So don't take it wrong just because you're a foreigner that they're charging you more. You can always bargain. And I know, man, there are foreigners here that are good bargainers. I mean, the foreigners, once they live here a few years or, once they know that, I mean, they're some of the best bargainers there are, because like a lot of times the locals don't want to talk to a foreigner because they're afraid of their English. But, that's why they're like, they just want to get rid of the foreigner and charge the, okay, whatever, here, you take it, because they don't want to, there's a term here, they say, they don't want to get a nosebleed. A nosebleed here for our locals, for the Filipinos, is when they have to talk a lot of English. They say, I'm going to get a nosebleed from talking all this English. So don't take it and get anything wrong, Daniel, about that skin tax. And just my advice, man. If you're around the locals, I wouldn't mention like skin tax because it's not. Maybe if you're around expats, you can talk skin tax, but not a good term for the locals to hear, in my opinion. That you might hurt somebody's feelings. LOL. Gino has taken classes using GI. I don't know if he converted it the post 9/11. Mine was just the post 9/11, so but it's the same GI Bill, post 9/11, any GI, anything GI Bill here. You can use it here in the Philippines. Many schools. I actually did a video. If you want to message me, it's on one of the videos I did on the GI Bill. I still have like on that video, like because some guy just asked me, he lives in Manila now. He's going to school soon. He enrolled Centro Escolar in Manila. He's American. He's taking tourism. He told me he's going to take tourism. So it's common here. People know about the GI Bill if you want to use your schooling here. We are here to be of service. You're scoring some big points, brother. Oh man, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, brother. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you. I think I saw that in one of his videos. That is why I was asking. I hope he answers. All right, all right. Maybe you can contact me on my WhatsApp or my Messenger. It's all on our videos. If you look at any of our videos on the description box, my email, my WhatsApp, my Messenger are all in there. You can just contact me, Glenn, and I'll send you the link to that video I made on the GI Bill using it here in the Philippines, and any questions you have, because I'm pretty familiar on how it works here. Glenn, no chickens. Better tell our local rooster and his harem. I know. That's the boss rooster, Glenn. I call him the boss rooster because the other day I filmed him right at the gate guard. Right at the gate guard is there. But I do know there's days that he crosses the fence. But he's not a resident. It's like I know the guards will shoo him if and he has a home. I know where the boss rooster lives. He lives like right across the 7-Eleven because by the sunset time, that's where he hangs out. He just likes to roam. That rooster just likes to roam, man. He like owns this area. He's like the boss rooster. That's why I call him the boss rooster. Everell, sorry to hear about your mom, man. I know how hard that is, brother. Gino, have you heard the law of attraction? Things people tend to attract the same qualities. Like, oh yeah, I've heard that term. Birds of the flock together. I understand. I've heard that term before, my brother. Daniel. Hermano is brother in Spanish. Oh, hermano. Yeah, I know. I've heard that term. I actually took Spanish, April, when I was in high school. When Long Beach, Wilson High, that was my. They made us take a language, and I picked Spanish because I was in California at the time. We just got our water bill too, 220, man. Mine is 505, man. Mine's like double yours, man. We must do a lot of laundry. We do a lot of laundry here, man, because we got me, Dazel's mom, and Leanna. So, and they go through. I mean, it's like our laundry machine is always going. They're always hanging clothes, because they use a lot of clothes. Glenn. Gino, you better cut back on those long cold showers. That's low, man. You guys got some low water bill, man. I don't take long showers, man. Like you said, I don't have a hot water heater, so I take real quick showers. But I think it's our laundry. I think it's our laundry because we do a lot of laundry. How does the home collect the HOA? To whom or where do you go? Oh, Tanya, our HOA, we actually have an office here in Camellia. There's like, It used to be it was called property management, but now it's not. There's just a lady there employed by the HOA, and you pay like 400 pesos a month, about $7 a month for, and we're supposed to have an election. May 28th is the election. Brand new officers for our HOA, so hopefully they'll fix all the issues with our HOA. Really, my only interest is our pool, man. I just want our pool back, man. That's the whole reason I moved to Camellia, was the swimming pool. And the pool's been down for months now just because of the HOA. It's like, so hopefully we get that HOA done fixed. Hopefully everybody starts paying their dues. I heard that if they don't pay their dues, a lot of people are delinquent on their HOA dues. They can't vote. So maybe that will encourage them for paying. But I think eventually, if we keep having a problem of people not paying HOA, we might end up dissolving the HOA, just because if only 30%, that's what they say, about 30% of us are paying HOA. Doesn't make any sense to me why it doesn't make any sense to me anyway why so many people don't pay their HOA. I mean, you're living in a nice gated community. The house here are like millions of pesos. I mean, some houses here are like 7, 8 million, 10 million pesos. And I'm thinking, you can't afford 400 pesos a month? I just don't get it. I don't get that, but it is what it is, man. It's like I just pay my 400 pesos, and then, that's all I can do. I'm not running for office. I would not want that job as a board of directors here, because no, you can't please everybody here. Everybody's got to complain. I don't even like attending the meetings because it becomes like a complaint thing, and I stay away from negativity, man. If you know me, people get to know me. I'm all about positive. I pretty much, like here in the Philippines, I think the reason why I'm successful, the reason why I'm happy. When I say success, I'm happy here, I enjoy, is I just remove all the noise as far as negativity. I don't focus on the negative. When I go to hotels, when I go to restaurants, I know there's stuff that are wrong, but I don't focus on that. I'll focus on the good. It's like, I think if that's one advice I could tell people moving here, foreigners moving here, is you have to look at the positive. You're coming from a developed country. Think about that. You're coming from a developed country, better infrastructure. Everybody makes good money. If you're coming from America, minimum wages, people, even minimum wages compared to the minimum wage here. I mean, minimum wage here in our province is less than $9 a day. Imagine that, making $9 a day, So for me, it's like, if you come here, you have to you can't expect that developed country thinking. It'll make you miserable here if you notice everything wrong about the Philippines. The people that enjoy the Philippines are the people that accept the Philippines for what it is. Adapt to the life here. If you're coming here and you're like, oh, why come they don't have this? How come you check into a hotel, oh, they don't have hot water? Oh, they don't have, if you're like that here, you're not going to enjoy it here. We will be in Boracay beginning Monday and staying at, oh, wow. All right, Glenn. Good deal. We will be there next week too, but we're only going to be there, I think, 2 nights. And then my best friend's here, so he really occupies my time when he's here. We're pretty much doing whatever he wants. He wants to do stuff in Boracay, do stuff in Antique, do stuff in Iloilo. And I always just entertain. We're on his schedule basically when he's here. It's like we do everything that he wants. He wants to get massages. He wants to do. He wants to go to Nigi Nigi bar, listen to the rock band there. So he's my guest. He's my best friend. So we kind of just tag along to whatever he wants to do here. Doesn't Rojas have condos? Daniel Rojas. Maybe. The only time I've gone to Rojas, very few times, to go to the mall, to go to the beach. maybe I'm thinking they probably have condos in Rojas. I'll have to research. I got your email and your WhatsApp and everything, Daniel. I can just message you. I'll research. I'll find out what condos. And I'm sure if they don't, I'm sure they're building. You know, Rojas City is one of those places here in Panay Island. They're building. They're expanding. You know, because one of the things I noticed about Rojas City, everything is kind of like, you can't compare it to Iloilo City. Iloilo City is just more modern than Rojas City. Rojas City, they're trying to get modern. You know, everything's kind of getting rebuilt. It feels like when I'm in Rojas City, it's just an older city. But they are improving. You know, they're building. I mean, there's a Camellia Aklan, like a community like here in Aklan, the one in Rojas City, Camellia Aklan Rojas, and much better than ours. I'm like, I mean, I wish that our Camellia community here is the same as Rojas. I mean, their subdivision is pristine. They have like a big, nice coffee shop outside the subdivision. I mean, just nice, well kept. I mean, their HOA must be running really well, you know, compared to us here at Camellia Aklan. I'll watch the Philippines. Like Rojas City looks like a nice place to retire. Yeah, I mean, many expats are moving into Rojas City. I know, like the Canadian Beaver. You know, when we go to the Canadian Beaver, there's always expats there. So I know they got a good expat community in Rojas City, and right outside Rojas City too. You know, rural area. A lot of the outside Rojas City are a lot of they're the seafood capital of the Philippines, so a lot of like fish farms, a lot of they raise fish, they raise crabs, and shrimp, you know, so that area. So Glenn, it seems like a great place and near the seafood capital of Philippines, a huge region that I will live there. Oh, nice. Hey, go for it, Daniel. I would not say it's a good move. If you decide, try it for 1 year, 2 years. Like I said, try Rojas City and see how you like it. You know, I like going there. I like you know, they have SM Mall, they have Robinson's Mall, they got Bye Bye Beach. You know, Bye Bye Beach is really nice. You know, they got the Canadian Beaver. You know, you got to hang out there for expats. You know, so. Hope to see you there, Daniel. Have lunch at the Beaver. All right, there you go, man. AF, I was stationed at NavMag Subic Bay during Pinatubo. We hosted all the Clark Zoomies. I know, I was one of them. I was one of the Clark Zoomies, man. I ended up at QB Point, like I said, on the Quonset Hut Marine Barracks. That's where they put me up in when I got to the evacuation. How cold is the water coming out of the fall? John P, it's not even cold. You know, maybe during the rainy season when it's raining hard. I mean, it's hot in the Philippines. I actually prefer. That's why I never put a hot shower in our house, because I love a cold shower, because right now, because it's humid. I'm starting, you know, it's not a big sweat, but I'm starting to get a little bit of sweat. So when I jump in a cold shower, it's perfect for me. You know, it's like cold water never bothered me, you know, because I was in Long Beach. I went to high school in Long Beach, and we always showered on the beach. You know, on those on the beach, they just said, you swim in the ocean, you come out, and just you rinse off on the beach. So I was always wet, and cold water never bothered me. I actually prefer it. You know, that's why I've never put a hot shower. I wouldn't want to put a hot shower in here, because like, if how humid it is now, if I take a hot shower, when I come out of the shower, I'll be sweating, you know. So to me, it's, you know, but I understand, you know, Americans like their creature comforts. I understand. I understand. So, but it's not hard to get hot water. You can get those portable units at the hardware store here. They're not expensive. You can get them for 10,000 to 15,000 pesos. Have it installed in your house. You know, it's like maybe $300 installed in your house, a portable unit, so you have your hot shower. So it's not like it's expensive to get. It's just for me. It's another one of those things. When you know, it's like another thing to buy and another thing that might break. You know, that another thing that might need repair. You know, so to me, it's like I'll just take cold showers, man. Daniel, GD for sure, because now they have fresh grilled seafood and wing. All right, yeah, and I saw that. I saw they got fresh seafood now at the Beaver. We always head to the Beaver when we're in. I don't think we've made a trip to Roa City without stopping at the Beaver. Vegas will gamble. Said hi. All right, Vegas. A lot of Vegas people up in here. That's all right, man. My Vegas people. I have another question. Did you retire as a dual citizen? I'm thinking of reacquiring my Filipino citizenship, but I'm not sure of the headaches involved trying to follow two countries' laws. All right. I wasn't. When I arrived here in 2011, I was not a dual citizen. And the only my plan actually, I was never going to apply for dual citizen. Actually, my plan was when I landed here in 2011, I was just going to do the balikbayan privilege. And I actually made a video of the balikbayan privilege. It'll be my next video. So it's like it'll come out. The next video coming out is about the balikbayan privilege. That way you understand, because people call it's also known as the balikbayan visa, but it's not a visa. It's actually called a balikbayan privilege. It's actually a visa-free stay in the Philippines for 1 year. And that was my plan, actually. My plan was, when I landed here in 2011, I was just going to keep using my balikbayan privilege. It gives you like 1 year to stay in the Philippines. You can actually even extend it up to like 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months, so a year and a half. And then you'll have to exit the Philippines. But that is so easy to do here in the Philippines, to exit. Because in Iloilo City now, I can go to Iloilo City, catch a plane, direct flight to Thailand, to Taiwan, to Singapore, and then come back. Spend a couple of days there, 3 nights, come back, and my balikbayan will start again. That was going to be my plan. The only reason I applied for dual citizenship was when I went to school. When I went to school, that was one of the requirements that the school asked me here in Calibo. They asked me, do you have a student visa? Because I did not have a Filipino passport. I was an American citizen. All I had was a U.S. passport. So they're looking for a student visa. And I didn't have a student visa. And I was like thinking, if I have to apply for a student visa, I had to renew that student visa every year. So I said, man, forget it. I'll just get the dual citizenship. And it was an easy process. And even in the U.S., actually, that's what I tell people. It's an easier process in the U.S. to get your dual citizenship. Get it there, because all it is basically is going to a Philippine consulate in the United States. And you can do, I have known people that have done their dual citizenship in the U.S. in 1 day, maybe 2 at the most. Maybe they'll ask you to come back, but it's an easy process to do. I would recommend doing it in the United States. And I know you said you're worried about loss, two laws. Like for me, I've been here now for 14 years. I don't plan on going back to the U.S. And I don't really worry about loss in the U.S. anymore. You know, it's like I pay taxes because my military pension, so I file online, H&R Block, I file online. That's the only connection I have with the U.S. laws, is to pay my taxes. As long as I pay my taxes on my military pension, you know, there's really no law. My passport, I renewed my passport only about 3 years ago. I just mailed my passport to the embassy in Manila. They mailed me a new one. You know, so it's not like you're going to have to follow laws in the United States. I think the only law that you got to follow is pay taxes, on your income, on your pension. And in the Philippines, I can't even think. I mean, I'm a law-abiding citizen here. I don't make waves, or I understand the laws here in the Philippines, but I don't sweat it. I don't think about, ooh, I got to like follow. There's really if you live a quiet life like I do here in the province, you never have to worry about the law here. I don't even see many cops here in Aklan province. We don't have police. We don't have police cars here. We don't have police squad cars. We don't have radar. We don't have that here in the province. You can ask people that's been here to Kalibo, or been to Boracay Island. You don't see many police here. It's like it's not a heavily police area or police state. It's like not a lot of laws that you got to worry about. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of laws here in the Philippines, but nobody seems to be following them. It's like people park their cars anywhere. You'll see a big parking in Kalibo, no parking, and there's people parked there. It's tricycles park on the sidewalk. It's like there's no jaywalking, but I know there's a jaywalking law, but people cross the street everywhere in the highway. I know there's a helmet law to wear a helmet on a motorbike. Nobody wears a helmet here. It's just, there's got so many laws in the Philippines, but it's kind of like selective on the laws on what they follow. HD, it's mostly good people here on the chat. There are some who are not regulars. Yeah, I know, HD, I know. And I'm glad you're there, HD. I know you're taking care of all the trolls. Gino did not retire dual. He got, yeah. And if you got to get dual citizenship here in the Philippines, it's going to be a pain because you got to go to Manila. That's it's the main office in Manila that does the dual citizenship. So that's another thing to think about. That's why I said, if you can get it done in the U.S., get it done in the U.S. And for me, it's a big benefit because I don't have to renew anything. I have a Filipino citizenship certificate. If I ever have to fly out of the Philippines, I just show them that. I don't even own a Philippine passport. I have my U.S. passport and my certificate, and I can fly in and out of the Philippines. Don't cost me anything. It's like I'm a Filipino citizen, basically. Tanya, if there was no addresses, no street numbers in Kalibo, how does one get mail or deliveries? Good question, Tanya. Good question. Mail from the postal office here is almost non-existent. It's like I can't even remember the last time I get a piece of mail. I might get a mail like every 6 months. And they're usually months behind. And when I pick up mail, it's funny. I have to go to the town hall in Numancia. Has this little post office with one person in it. And the reason I find out if I have mail is the gate guard here. Sir, they'll text me or they'll stop me at the gate and say, sir, you got mail at the post office. That's how I find out. There is no postal delivery person. I have never seen a delivery postal guy. The mail carriers, U.S. I've never seen a Filipino postal delivery guy carrying the mail and handing out mail. Non-existent here in Aklan province. How do we get deliveries? Now that's a tricky one. The deliveries usually when you order from Lazada, when you order from Amazon Prime, people can order from Amazon Prime in the U.S. What happens is there's a phone number. When you order from Lazada, Amazon Prime, there's a phone number. We give our cell phone number. So somebody will text you. Somebody will text you, sir, I have a delivery to you. When can I deliver? And you kind of agree where you deliver. Like here, at least at Camellia, they know if they see Camellia Aklan, it's a subdivision, they'll deliver to the guard. I can actually, and most of the deliveries here, what's funny, it's cash on delivery when we order Lazada. So I can actually just put on a Ziploc bag, my name, Gino, and the amount in Lazada and put in there and give it to the guard. I don't have to wait for it. When the guy delivers, the guy from Lazada comes, he'll ask the guard. The guard will like give him the money. The guard will pick the package, and the guard will put in the guardhouse. And then when I pull in my car or Bumblebee, the guard, sir, I got your package. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. Or there's times when I get a text from the guy, sir, can I deliver your package? And I'll say, I'm in Calibo right now. I'm at the mall. Oh, sir, I'm also in Calibo. Can I meet you at the mall? I can meet them at Gran Gaisano. All right, let's meet at the food court. And here comes the guy with my package, and I pay him the cash on delivery at Gaisano. That's how we get our packages. But no street addresses here. That was my next question, Tanya. LOL. All right. So I'm glad I explained it. And same thing with apartments, because people ask me about apartments and I look for people apartment. Man, a lot of times Google Map is how I find apartment, because the apartments don't have addresses too. Like, there might be a new apartment, SNR apartment or something like that, and I'll Google Map it, and that's how I find the apartment. But it's funny because like. You would never, think that, you would think in the U.S., how everything's so organized, but it's opposite here. HD. Tanya, you check the post office. It's funny that some of the people will know where people are based on their, which must, yeah. But they know me. It's weird. Like you said, HD. The guy that works at the post office at the town hall, he knows me. It's like, I guess, the packages I usually get that gets mailed, usually when somebody mails something to me using the U.S. Postal Service and it ends up there. And I've gotten, people that send stuff to me from the U.S. That's the only reason. They really have to update their mailing system to have street numbers. Kalidobo does not have street names though. Does have. They do have street names, so that's a step. That's a step that they have street names, but no street numbers. I guess Google Maps won't be helpful to find a home address there. No, that's the other thing. Google Map, it's like if you have to look for somebody's house, usually, people here, it's landmarks. They'll tell you like, oh, I live by the Jollibee. I'm behind Jollibee. Or I live behind Gran Gaisano. Or, they'll end up, like a lot of times, you'll end up texting each other. Hey, can you meet me? Like, good example, my friend Brian, he lives in Lezo. Lezo is like the next town here from us in Numancia. So basically, I Google mapped it, the area, general vicinity, and Brian said, just text me when you're coming and I'll stand out there. And sure enough, Brian, he's a tall white guy. Brian's like 6'3", so it's not like I can't see him, I can spot him. So it's like standing out there and I'm going, oh, there's Brian. That's how I found this house. Calibo will have numbers on it, since it's a much lower chance. Smaller municipalities are the ones that doesn't have the street names because it's not developed enough. Yeah, it's not. We're not developed enough here in Numancia. Boot camp showers were at most. I know, right? I remember that HD. They didn't give you much time to take shower in the military. All right, I better go through these messages quick. I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were at the 2-hour mark already. Gino, you are absolutely correct. I learned a long time ago that it's much better to look what a place has, right? Yeah. Right, Glenn? If you focus on the negatives, the things that the Philippines do not have, you're not going to be happy here. Focus on what they have. Focus on the good people here, the kind people, the friendliness, the neighborly, the vibe, don't look at like, oh, they don't have this, they don't have that, You'll never be happy here if you think like that. Interesting about the visa. Looking forward to your video. All right, that Balikbayan visa, text Brian, it will only apply to you once you have a Filipina. Once you marry a Filipina, then you're eligible for that, man. If you're married to a Filipina, uh, you're eligible for the 1 year free balikbayan privilege as long as you fly in with the Filipina. So and a lot of people take advantage of that. I know people here in the Philippines. I got friends here never didn't even bother getting that 13A resident visa because they know they're married to a Filipina. All they got to do is exit every year. And it's free of charge. The balikbayan privilege doesn't cost the Filipina, doesn't cost the Filipino, and the spouse of the Filipino, the children of the Filipino, doesn't cost them any money. There's no fee for the balikbayan privilege. But my next video, yeah. I'm spoiling. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Well, hello. All right. Hey, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining our channel. And I can tell James and Karen will be good friends of ours now. We're actually going to their wedding, so I know we're gonna develop good friendship with them because they're good people. They're my kind of people, humble, kind, helpful. It's like my kind of people. Hey, there he is. There's James and Karen. Good morning. Good morning, my friends. Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. I just mentioned, man. It was so awesome meeting you guys. I can tell we're kindred spirits, man. We're the same. We just want to push out positive message and help as many people as you want. Glenn, all right, Gino, you're awesome. I think you made my decision to retire to the Philippines. Thank you for the kind words, Glenn. And that's why I like helping people retire here to the Philippines because I know once you come here, once you absorb the lifestyle here, James is a perfect example. That's why he's going to be happy here. He's going to have a successful life here in the Philippines because he embraces the Filipino people, the Filipino culture. He's living out there in the mountain, homesteading, building. He's got chickens. He's got a carabao. He's got, he's loving life because he's used to that life. He grew up in a farm in the U.S., but he's embracing how the Filipinos do their way here. That's why I know he's got a beautiful wife. He's got it made there. He's going to have a great life here in the Philippines. And that's why I like to help people move here to the Philippines because I know once you move here, you can have a great life here. Hey, James. All right. Hey, James. Hello. In his service. All right. Live and let live system. Way it should be. Yeah. Amen, brother. Feel free. Yeah, James. Right, James? That's why I love talking to James. When me and him lunch yesterday, I can see it. You feel the vibe. You feel that he's just happy here. And I've seen that with many people, not just with James. Ruben's a perfect example. He's in Calibo. He's like shooting billiards with the locals, hanging out with the manongs at Dunkin' Donuts. These are like local politicians the Ruben's hanging out with. I mean, where can you get that? In the U.S. I'm not bashing the U.S. I love America. I love my time in the U.S. But I think people have gotten away from that, being how can I, being friendly and I know before I left the U.S. And this was back in 2011, people were just doing their own thing. It's like, you had neighbors where they don't talk, you don't know them. Here in the Philippines, we know everybody. You can see me on our videos. Everybody's waving at me. I know the kids here on our street. I know Howard. I know Lynette. All Gab Gab. I know all the kids here. It's like, to me, it's like that's a place to be, a happy place. I found out right today. I sub. All right, thanks HD. Sub to their channel. They're good, great people. HD, you will love their channel. Ruben, hey, there's Ruben. I was just talking about you, Ruben. I came under the Balikbayan privilege. I really don't need to get dual citizenship, though. I haven't said no to it. I go back for the U.S. 1 year stay is renewed. Exactly, yeah. I got that, man. That's on my next video, Ruben. You know, I'm explaining that. Like Ruben, he was here January, April, and then he was in to March, April. He was in San Diego, and then when he landed here the 3rd of May, his 1 year starts again. You know, so and you don't have to go back to the U.S. Like with me, like I said, you can just take a 1 night trip to Hong Kong, come back, and they got like cheap fares here. You know, they got round trip tickets to like Thailand here from Iloilo, less than $250, and then you get to spend a couple of days in Thailand. You know. Thanks, HD Apex. Been watching. All right, all right. Thanks, James. Oh, all right, Jumpy. Great. Yeah, guys. Subscribe to James and Karen. Yeah, you're gonna love their channel. They're very humble people and fun people too. Fun people too. Filipina, minor Rica, Brian Rica, Filipina. I know, brother. I know. Hey. Minor. That's funny. Minor Rica. It's cheaper to just Stan. I have to go now. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream now too. Anyway, I just want to finish up here. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Wedding dress code is salmon. I know. I saw the prenup. I saw the prenup pictures of James and salmon color. I have to go. All right. How are the chicks? All right. It's a small town vibe. Small town. They have everything, even though they're bigger. Yeah. Even small residential in the U.S. have lost. Yeah. Right, Stan? That's the thing. You know, it's like here, you know, that's what I like. That's what I enjoy about Aklan province and our neighborhood, our community. You know, when Dazel and I, we walk at sunset together. We have an hour walk at sunset. Everybody's saying hello. Everybody's saying hi. Sometimes people will hand you like bananas. Hey, we just picked this bananas. Have some bananas, and we got extra. You know, you just don't see that anymore. You know, when I was in the U.S., I would have never experienced that. You know, here, you know, that small town living. Yeah, navy blue. I know. James Dazzle told me about the navy blue. So we're wearing navy blue. Brother. Good night. All right. I got to the bottom of the messages, so that's good. I'm over the 2 hour mark anyway. So thank you everyone for watching the live stream. I really appreciate your continued support. But have a great weekend, I guess. Have a great weekend. Again, next week I probably won't do my regular Friday live stream. I'll put a message on our YouTube because we're gonna be on vacation. You know, vacation time. We need a break. You know, so no live stream next Friday. But I'll see during the vacation if I can. But more likely it'll be 2 weeks from now. Will be our next live stream. All right, take care, HD. Thank you so much again, HD. Hey, Stevie, I didn't know you were on, Stevie. All right, Stevie. All right, thank you for sharing your time also. Thank you, Brian. I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun vacation for us for sure. All right, take care, everyone.